unallocated, it's just there.
Okay,
We left it where it was supposed to be, that's all I'm saying.
okay.
So again, you're just saying the $300,000 will go toward a structural building, if that's what they said? You're shaking your head. Tell me, please.
No, I'm not shaking my head. I'm saying the 300,000 is in place. If you determine that you're gonna build a PAL building, if you come up with a public-private partnership, whatever you wanna do with PAL, $300,000 is available there towards a building or however this body feels to move forward with addressing the building needs of PAL. It was $1 million. Again, this was all appropriated during Progress 2013. $1 million was set aside for PAL to build a building. During we wanted to move forward with MOCA. We took $700,000 out, and now that left you with $300,000. Us placing the $300,000 here is just us being transparent to let you know that there's still $300,000 available for PAL Progress 2013.
Has PAL made any request to us this fiscal year for any funds specifically, or this?
Yes. PAL
Okay.
did make a request. I believe it was a request for their allocation to be moved from the proposed $195,000 to go up to, I think, approximately $250,000.
So they're requesting 250 and we're giving 300?
No, sir.
No, the
They're not,
300
they
is
can't
just
have this money. You have to give this money to them
But
They're
they're
re-
requesting
250.
295. Okay.
for
You're-
operations.
They're requesting 295 for what?
250.
250.
Okay, they're requesting 250 for what?
They requested 250,000. I believe it's to go toward their peer tutoring and their operations of the PAL program.
Programming and operations for the upcoming fiscal year.
Mr.
And why did then we not just set aside 250,000? Why are we allocating potentially 300,000? Why is that being set aside?
Sir,
Last year, the $1 million that was allocated from the Biscayne Landings allocation was allocated for a PAL structure to be built.
Right.
The PAL structure was not built with the intent of including it as part of the Cagney renovation.
Correct.
700,000 was taken away from that $1 million allocation and was allocated to MOCA. 300,000 remained. That 300,000 that is in that line item still remains in the budget as part of the capital improvement for Cagney Park improvement.
And they are requesting
is-
an additional 250.
Right. The
not
two,
for a
No,
building.
No?
Not for a building. They haven't made it.
No, not for the building, for operations.
the 250 that is requested is for operation
Operations.
and programming. That's all they're requesting.
No.
If I'm clear for you.
No, I'm
So-
looking at 75 for PAL and 120 for Pier.
That's right.
So it's 195.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right, yes.
But they're requesting, this question was
Okay.
how much did they request? They requested 250.
250.
In the budget is 195.
Okay, that's what I
Where was
I
their
thought.
request made and in what form?
Actually, it was,
It was the request for the 250 was a discussion being made and a possible to come to the council. We did advise.
with a resolution, with a
With the
possible
resolution.
resolution.
That didn't come to this board, so it, just didn't come forward.
The request was made to the PAL board. It will be, and it did not reach the city council via resolution. At the last PAL meeting, it was requested that they come before the city council with a $250,000 request for programming and operation. It was approved by the board. But you don't see.
The request, what they were planning to do, they were planning to come with the request tonight, as a matter of fact. And because of that they didn't have time to present it before their board, because their board has to, meet on it and make the final decision. So I told them that I would actually sponsor the resolution for the following
That's right.
meeting for it to be part of our agenda in our next meeting.
I'm down to my last couple of questions.
Sure.
Although PAL, please, I seem to be the easiest guy for everybody to reach via phone and email, but the hardest to reach when somebody has a money request. Please just email me what it is you want. How much money are we spending this year for new sidewalks versus last year?
General fund, 100,000 decided,
100,000.
100,000. It's in streets, public works streets.
In the transportation, we are budgeted approximately $100,000 for sidewalks. Last fiscal year,
Citywide?
more money was spent, but that was, where council had money and council was allocating money. I believe $250,000 was allocated by Councilman Bieneme to do sidewalks out of the money he had. I believe Councilwoman Keys had funds available, and she allocated additional money for sidewalks. Traditionally, what we've always budgeted is around $100,000 for sidewalks. Changes are made, when we had money left over. I believe when we had last year, we had the $700,000 left over for council to appropriate during the budget hearings, and more money was placed for sidewalks. This year, staff did not bring a bucket of money for council to appropriate. Staff went on making sure we addressed some of the critical needs we had throughout the city, and those all were identified in Terry Henley's presentation.
So how much did we spend this year on that sidewalks?
Well over 400,000, again, all the combination.
Yeah, well over 400,000, probably about $480,000.
Question for the city attorney's office, Mr. Attorney, do you know how often do we get sued for trip and fall incidents on our sidewalks?
Every now and then.
Every now and then, every week or 2 days, every
Probably about
month or
4 a year.
4 a year?
Yes, sir.
How much do we normally settle those trip and fall accident claims for?
Usually below 25,000.
25,000
Yes,
each?
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
if we get sued this year for 4 trip and falls, is our average, that 100,000 is out the door?
Could
Or-
possibly. Yes, sir.
Correct.
I think we should look at more money set aside for sidewalk repair somehow, because history will show that we're gonna probably have more people fall down, and that money will never even patch a sidewalk. Turn to the FIU Stadium for a second, North Miami Athletic Stadium. Grand opening when I was a senior in high school in 1986. I'm getting ready to celebrate my 30-year high school reunion in 2016. In 30 years, those bathrooms back up in those buildings, I've only been in the guy's side of it, maybe the ladies' side looks better, but the bathrooms are horrendous. Are we planning on spending money for any type of upgrades and improvements at the FIU North Miami Athletic Stadium?
In this current budget, there is no funds for doing any improvements at the stadium. However, during the fiscal year, I believe we did have a problem with the bathrooms that was addressed during this fiscal year. It was addressed during the fiscal year.
So I guess I haven't been to any of the football games yet this season. It just started. If I go out there, I'm going to see spanking new bathrooms versus what I have seen the last 30 years.
Repairs.
We'll let the Parks and Recreation Director address.
Mayor and Council, this year we were allocated funds from CDBG to renovate one of the restroom facilities. To the north end of the North Miami Stadium bathrooms were renovated. New tile from the floor, the wall, new urinals, new partitions, new sinks, and new hand dryers. So they were renovated this year. That project completed August 16th, I believe it was, which was a Monday. And it was opened up before the season kicked off for this year's season. So the south end is still the same bathrooms that you had back when it opened up in 30 years ago. So unfortunately, the south bathrooms are still that way, but the north end bathrooms have been renovated.
I would like to see us find some funding for some stadium renovation in those bathrooms. Additionally, how comfortable are we with the structural soundness of the action? Has anybody ever gone out there and tested the stands themselves where people sit and stomp and things like that?
Actually, go ahead.
We had this discussion at staff meeting today. We will be, and we have been monitoring the stands, and our building official has monitored it. And we do make adjustments as we need. Right now, we are fine. We are looking at some things that maybe need repairs, but we are keeping a monitor on what's going on. So we do have no possible threats or any pending lawsuits.
So there's no worry right now with the season being open and a couple thousand kids being in there banging their feet on there. There's no worries that there's any structural.
Similarly, Councilman, there were some concerns. The building official spoke to me, Parks Department direct manager already spoke to me about it, A structural engineer is gonna be out there examining the stands, and a report would be issued on the structural integrity of the stands themselves.
How long until the report comes back? Any guess?
Derek?
We met with them Friday, the structural engineer, independent structural engineer. He did provide us proposal and invoice for his services. He told us it would take him almost a week to 2 weeks to complete his report and provide it back to the city.
Are you comfortable on the record, everybody? I like the answers that I get when the lights are on and the cameras are open. There are games this Friday. Several high schools use that stadium on a weekly basis. Are we comfortable that everything is cool at that stadium when the kids go to play their games this weekend?
I've already instructed the building official to go out there and do an evaluation. If under his inspection, the evaluation of the stands are not fit or are not structurally sound, they are going to be shut down based on my orders.
Okay, and just make sure if that happens, please to communicate that to the high school as early as possible. They depend on
I will.
ticket sales.
Actually,
Actually, Mr. Councilman, you are aware that we are departing from questioning about the budget.
Well, no, because I think we need to have more money in place for the budget to
No,
address the
I am
stadium in
all with you
general.
on that. That's why I wanted to actually go back on the question of the sidewalks, because, Mr. Manager, you and I, we've had
that's correct.
numerous conversations about the sidewalk issues. And I've always told you, if I want to be known as one type of mayor, I want to be known as a street mayor.
That is correct.
I want to see the streets of the city of North Miami repaired, restructured, and I'm all with you on that. I mean, I've been sent pictures by constituents about us patching up sidewalks with asphalts.
Yeah. I have confidence.
We are the
I have all
sixth largest city in the Miami-Dade County, in the U.S. of A., and we are patching sidewalks with asphalts. And they just go and patch them up, and you see the big mountain of asphalt there, and the propensity of somebody just trip. I mean, you've already gone over that.
Correct.
Big potential for lawsuits, and we're talking about city beautifications and spending money here and there for other stuff,
Right.
and yet we are neglecting the very face of our city, which are the sidewalks, which are the streets and streetscapes. So I was not going to mention that, but I know that we're going to have a second reading.
Correct.
But next meeting, I would like to see much more. $100,000 for sidewalk repair is nothing. It's just pretty much patching up something and then just waiting and then wait for a big avalanche to happen.
That's
and then that-
basically patching 2 streets. There's approximately 10
Yeah.
loads of concrete.
So-
That's what it is.
Here's the problem,
And,
Mr. Mayor.
uh,
Here's the problem that we have, Mr. Mayor. If we don't make those changes tonight, we'll have a significantly altered budget on second reading in 2 weeks, which will actually require it to be a first reading because it's going to be so publicly different than it was tonight.
Okay.
Now
That's
we-
why doing the council meeting on the night of the first budget read, this is when you really have at it for hours and hours, as we eliminate this to fund this, and we eliminate that to fund that. If we want money towards sidewalks, if we want money toward FIU Stadium, if we want to get rid of council aides that aren't necessary, in my opinion, tonight is when we have to do it, because if we come back and they present us a totally different budget in 2 weeks, that's actually first reading, not second.
Okay, that's correct. But direction so far is to remove the constituent aides for additional police officers.
We say that.
Well,
We say
wait,
that.
wait,
Where
wait,
you got that
That's not
from?
that direction, that's
We
his
did-
opinion,
That's his-
Mr.
oh.
Manager.
No, but it's my opinion, it needs
Oh,
to happen,
but
but
But you
it's
cannot
factually.
just take
it- I-
opinion and.
Yes.
It's absolutely fact, gentlemen and lady, that if we want to make significant changes to the budget tonight, it has to happen tonight in this
Okay,
room.
do you
Now,
have
can, no,
before
no,
the
hold on
council-
one second. Mr. Attorney, how do we go about doing, should he do it in a form of a motion?
Yes, sir, because opinions may differ, so you need to, as a body, give a collective answer to city administration to bring it back.
And
Bring it back with the changes.
while we were talking about sidewalks, and I understand we do need sidewalks, and last year alone in my district, we spent about 400,000 in sidewalk
Yeah.
only.
Only in your district in Councilwoman Keys, there was an additional 100,000 spent there for only repairs. Most of the work that was done last
But for
year,
new and repairs,
Correct.
it was about
right,
$400,000 only in my
Roughly-
district.
that in your district, that's correct.
But Council Keys was 280
Well,
between new and repairs.
most of those were repairs.
Okay.
To
And,
actually repairs.
And from what I understand, you have an RFP out for $200,000 for new
200,000
installation and
city,
repairs.
that's correct.
And I think 150 gonna be spent in District 3 to do the sidewalk on 127 and other area. That's been when it comes to sidewalk in my district, and I think I'm on top of that.
Yeah, that's District 3, but
Yeah.
throughout the city, I believe.
Yeah, for that 200,000 is gonna be throughout the city.
I believe 2 years ago when a presentation was done here on sidewalks,
Yeah.
the city actually requires about really over $3.2 million,
2.8.
right?
Yeah,
Just to keep up
yeah.
with the repairs and the amount of sidewalk repairs that is required. So 100,000 allocation is just, a
Yeah,
minimum.
but that 100,000 is not a part of the
You know.
half penny of the transportation
No,
money.
it's separate.
They separate. That's when you always can use the transportation for sidewalk.
It depends on the location because
Yeah.
there are restrictions on the transportation funds as
understand
well.
that.
Yes.
But also in the CRA, you can use those capital improvement for sidewalks.
Correct, but also restrictions, only for construction of new sidewalks, not
Yeah,
repairs.
we understand that.
So
We're
there
talking
are
about new
restrictions on-
Area to
construction.
repair sidewalks.
No, I'm talking about construction.
Capital improvement projects.
Okay.
Again, what I was actually asking, following the expression of your concerns about the sidewalks, requesting more money, if that were to be done in the form of a motion to vote on, and I think I would consider that.
I'll
We
make,
have to vote on, I think we lay out everything that we need. I think you are gonna come up next
How much
week,
are how much are we recommending that we put aside for sidewalk, for either new sidewalk and repair
New and
combined?
replacement, last year alone, we spent 480,000 in District
In one
3,
district?
Yeah,
280,000 approximately in District 2. I believe in District 1, we spent a little less than 100,000. District 4 was only repairs, minor repairs, and that's throughout the city.
and you have another 200,000 out
Well,
there
presently, there's an RFP out there.
who haven't
So
started.
that
You
has
haven't
not,
started that.
exactly.
For
But most of that is
200,000.
going to be spent in District 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move that we eliminate the city council aids that total approximately $150,000 and move that money towards sidewalk repair.
I'd second
And,
that. I'd second
and,
that for discussion.
but, okay, if,
Is it discussion?
If I could say something, I know that I could use some assistance because since I've been in office, we've had aides coming and going, and I virtually have no assistance whatsoever with answering constituent calls, keeping track. I'm doing it really myself. I could use some help, but whether we actually need 5 separate aides at 29 hours, I think that's a bit exorbitant. So if we could keep some money to hire like 1 or 2, I could use some assistance, but I personally don't need 29 hours.
Councilman Galvin, your
And
motion was to,
with the,
Hold on,
Oh.
it's discussion.
okay,
clarify, was it to allocate it to sidewalk improvements or to police department hiring? I didn't hear the last part. Your motion was to
100
eliminate the constituent
yeah.
service aides and allocate the funds to,
150,000 doesn't get you far with police department. I mean,
it's 120 for the
allocate it to
aid.
what?
I motion that it be moved towards sidewalk
Sidewalks.
repair.
Could we,
If the body wants to vote that down and move it to the cops, I mean, that's gonna be worth like one cop at, $60,000
One cop
plus
is
equipment.
approximately 160,000 on the street with a police car, all the equipment and everything with pension and all the other allocation.
Mis-
It's cost the city approximately 160,000 per officer.
Yeah, but at
The
the same
sworn
time, we have
officer.
PSA that we can use the money for PSA. That's
Direction.
gonna cost.
You need to
Yeah,
tell us
but-
whether you want a sworn
Okay.
officer or a,
Yeah,
Well, go ahead.
to get sworn officers, that's where I wanna get down, and that's why I was going after all those parks and all those other directors and We are seriously heavy with staff, and we could do away with almost all of that and move that over to the police department. That's where you're coming up with some real money to come up
Mis-
with some
Mr.
cops. But if we're gonna just talk about the $140,000 from the aides, put that in the sidewalk.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, through the recommendations or the suggestions of salaries, the city attorney's salary, if it's the will to drop the salary to 175,000, through the city manager, if it is the will to drop the salary to 195,000, if it is the will to reduce the lobbyists down by $31,000. Right now, we're talking about $252,000 we have available.
But we said
If
80.
if you guys want to make those
But
changes.
there's some other line items I specifically mentioned. Nobody kind of said anything, but now all of a sudden
We're
we're
gonna
adding
come-
up.
No, you.
No, I mean, if we adding up and
Usually
we taking,
the way we work.
I'm just
I-
taking,
I-
I'm taking
no, I
away
know,
money
Councilman,
right now.
but I know, but it seems like you're taking money away from, because I made suggestions before.
We understand that there is a motion
Yes,
being
yes,
discussed.
and that's what we, yes.
And
Okay.
Are we in
Nice.
discussion?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for discussion about
Sure.
that money and Mr. City Manager, by experience, and I understand that the half-penny transportation
Correct.
money can be used for sidewalk
It-
when you put that 100,000. When you have capital improvement from the CRA, that's mean we have a lot of money available that we can use for sidewalk beside that $100,000.
That's correct.
well, but let's decide an amount
So
tonight.
if you give
No,
me an
but
allocation.
Mr. Mayor, what I was saying,
Mm.
it's like last year, 100,000 was allocated for sidewalk and throughout the city, about 200,000. But we end up spending about 600 to 800,000 in sidewalk only because of the half penny, because of the CRA between repair and new sidewalk. Like in my district
But
only.
most of it was spent in District 3, Councilwoman. So I believe the
No, you
intent-
spend 200, no,
Well,
don't say,
200
most of
was spent
280.
in repairs in
Exactly.
Keystone
And
Sanssouci
400
area.
and something in my
So,
district. That's mean
it's-
it was 100,000 budgeted for that. But you end up spending almost 800,000
That's correct.
because in the budget, you use capital improvement money
We
from
reallocated
the half
capital
penny and
improvement
other
and right-of-way
money to
improvement
cover that.
funds to cover
I don't
it.
think the
That's correct.
sidewalk is an important item to find money elsewhere and put it in that 100,000 because we have other avenue that we can go and find money for sidewalk.
As I said, the two sources of funding that you're referring to, which is CRA and transportation, there are restrictions on those funds.
We understand, Alim. We said
Yeah.
new sidewalk. We
Okay.
understand that.
Right.
I'll withdraw my second to, I think what we need to do is go through a lot of these big line items and get new
Yeah.
numbers, and then we can allocate
Yes,
it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Um,
Are we still discussing the?
I'll withdraw my motion to eliminate the 5 aid positions. I will withdraw that. If somebody wants to suggest something different
What
going forward.
What I would like to suggest is maybe give the directions to staff
Right.
to see if we can at least
Allocate.
shave off some money from other projects or programs to get at least about $1 million allocated for sidewalks repairs. And
Shaving
Can I-
off $1 million is.
around,
that's a
go
big
around.
trim.
Whenever you're planning for the future, you see what you've been doing, in the past. If last year we spent 1.2, about 1.2 or 1.1 million, so we should estimate or we should project that we're probably going to need about the same. And we're talking about a city that is 9.8 square,
9.3.
9.3 square miles. And this is a city that was built, back in the 40s, 50s, and it's an old city. And we have to project. We cannot just keep going, like trying to patch things up as we go along. Some cities they have a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year plan. So why can't we in the city of North Miami do the exact same? Why should we just go and then this week we go and then do this and then this week? Let's have a comprehensive plan for our city if we are to move it to a new level, not patching things up, as we go along. I would like to see us go and identify at least about $1 million for our comprehensive plan for sidewalk for the upcoming year.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
We can do it.
I understand, Mr. Mayor. Right now, all the projects that we did list, which were listed in our departmental, was about $794,000. And making
another
changes, if we
2.5.
do want to make changes right now, and if we're looking for $1 million, staff first recommendation would be to eliminate those projects. The next recommendation would be to eliminate the cars that we're looking at purchasing, but
Not all of them.
well, well,
The 40, 20,
the
we keep
40
25.
additional cars we were looking at purchasing.
Uh-huh.
And that basically will bring your amount up to, I believe, a little over, maybe about $1.1 million. To just say staff to go in, is to go and find $1 million without just cutting these big items. We will have to be talking about reductions in personnel. If you so choose, there's $500,000 that we had budgeted for the COLA increases.
No. Don't even go there.
Well,
I'm not
No,
going there,
no,
sir,
not-
but
no.
I don't
I'm
wanna
not
go
gonna
there,
touch
so-
the employees,
I
salary
understand.
increase.
I just, and I'm not making that recommendation, I'm just saying, to get to that number that we're looking for, if this body wants that number, some serious changes will have to be made for $1 million. And us going back to the table ourselves and making those cuts, the cuts will be significant. So, to echo what Councilman Galvin says, you're talking about making some cuts and then us coming back to you guys at the second budget hearing and basically going with the whole new book for you, if you want to do $1 million.
I've been asking for the street repairs, sidewalk repairs for months now. And
understand.
for months, I've been alerting you, I've been asking you, I say, when the new budget comes, please, I want to see a big chunk of money allocated for street repair, including the sidewalks.
And that's
It's very important, because I'm the ones who get the calls. You know, I mean, I've been sending you the pictures, right? And I take you and we go and visit them. I got all of the pictures here,
I do.
right?
And
Mr. Mayor,
Question for
So-
you, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah, go ahead.
and I guess this is really for staff, but we're still haven't closed on the sale of our land at Solomia, am I correct?
yes, sir.
No, we haven't.
no, we haven't closed it.
If and when that sale closes, how much money will come to the city, and when approximately will that come?
We actually got the closing documents last Thursday, and I've spoken to the developer today. I think within the next 2 to 3 weeks, the closing should be done.
And how much will that bring into the city in that 2 to 3 weeks?
With the present contract that we have for the sale of the property, we're looking at $6 million because it's approximately 55 acres. $6 million as the first deposit, with an additional $1.67 million for the next 10 years.
So if we get on October 15th, we're into the new budget year, $6 million on October 15th.
Yes.
Here's a check.
Yeah.
How do we deal with that budgetarily? I mean, we could sit over here and fight with each other over 100,000 for sidewalks, 100,000 for the stadium.
Right.
Like, what are the administration's plans for that $6 million?
Well, what it
when we
is
get
there's going to be added revenue to your budget, and there's going to be a budget amendment based on that $6 million coming in this fiscal year. So, unless there's an allocation for that $6 million right now, it's going to be unallocated if we get it for the next fiscal year. Unallocated funds.
Councilman, upon the receipt of the $6 million, right now, we did balance the budget without looking at the $6 million. That's
Right.
what our goal was to do. If you do get $6 million, it would definitely be staff recommendation to put at a minimum about $2 to $3 million in the reserves.
Mhm.
The rest of the money would be used on various projects. I would definitely say that we would have to caution, it would be projects that don't create additional maintenance or other additional costs to us. And it's one-time money, so we wouldn't be looking to create any new positions with this money because it is one-time revenues that will be coming in, so you can't count on that money moving forward. So that's it. The major thing would be to put probably half of it in reserves, the other half to do something that actually does a return on investment.
Our
for us.
reserves are currently how much?
$5 million, sir.
Okay. Oh, we've burned some revenue there, because that $5 million we'd put on addition to what we had, so we've been spending that. But let's say we get $6 million and we put $3 million in reserve. That means we have $3 million to work with. You could take $1 million, split it up over 5 years, and have 2 cops at 160 for those 5 years. My math is a little rough, no? I mean, we sometimes get grants from the state,
We have applied.
and then we have the cop in hand, so to speak, for that brief period of time that we have the grant. We could almost consider some of that Solomia money as a grant, even though we can't create positions for the next 30 years. We could create a few positions for the next 5 years.
Correct.
I'm just throwing out an idea.
Well,
If
and
we're gonna
another
put-
thing that has came to light too as well is since it's a CRA, the only area for that our TIF funds, our tax increment finances actually is based, our CRA funds based on the Solomia site, is actually funding police officers from the CRA revenues themselves.
Right, but I was just talking about the straight up sale of the 55 acres at
Yeah,
Solomia.
I understand.
That cash, we could get a little bit more creative with, and if we're
Correct.
looking to put police officers on the street, you could
Correct.
put a couple more on the street using a fraction of that 6 million, even if you put half of it in reserve.
Correct.
If you need to make structural repairs at the stadium, you can use some of that money to
For the
make structural
bathrooms.
repairs out
Correct.
at the stadium.
Correct.
After wasting everybody's time tonight, I'm now saving everybody a little time maybe by saying, let's not forget that that money is real close around the corner, and let's not claw each other's eyes out tonight
For
to try to figure out how to do some of those things when we could do that
Sure.
in 3 weeks. That's just a suggestion. But I still am gonna be clawing at some of these staff positions that you guys.
Okay.
All right, so the motion was with a, was withdrawn, right?
That's
Yes.
correct.
May I
And-
say something?
Go ahead.
Is the council, are you all in agreement? I mean, I've listed 3 line items for 135,000. The manager's salary, the attorney's salary, and bringing the federal lobbyists from 80 back down to 30. There's 135.
The federal lobbyists? We don't need a federal
yeah.
lobbyist.
Well,
So
we-
eliminate
I
it?
thought it's 80.
We eliminate, no.
Well,
It
well-
was 0 last year.
no, it was 30
I'm
last
waiting on
year.
direction.
Okay.
It was 30 last year. We raised it to 80. I would like to at least take 50 back out.
We spent 30,000 in federal lobbyists last year
There was a line item allocated for 30,000.
for federal
Yeah.
lobby.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want,
Oh,
I mean, I
yeah.
don't care whether you
Mr.
take
Mayor?
it all out or not, but I'm
But
saying at
we
least.
don't have any major.
But we increased it by 50.
By
Let's take
Yeah.
at least the
I did-
50 out.
I
So-
don't-
Okay.
Somebody make a motion.
I make a motion that,
I
okay.
I
that-
second you in the motion.
So
That's
we're
fine.
going,
It's,
So
it, no,
my
it,
motion
it
is-
passes.
my motion would be the attorney at 175.
You're good, you're good, it
But
passes.
he doesn't have it. He needs it.
That's one
Go
read.
ahead.
Let's change the salary of the attorney to 175,
Oh,
the manager to 190,
I
and
didn't know about
the,
that motion.
and the federal lobbyist back down to 30,
Back down to 30,000.
which would be $135,000.
No, the attorney to what?
175,
What is it now?
226.
And the manager to 190.
And the manager from the same number to 190.
What
Because
is,
the-
what, okay. Is it
I
open
still
for
don't see where you're gonna
discussion?
get my $1 million for the sidewalks.
You're gonna get it.
We still, huh?
You're gonna get it with the Biscayne Landings Fund.
Yeah.
So you've got,
Okay,
So you
so-
want,
You're saying that, but you're gonna be gone by then. You're
You've got-
tired.
so you've got
With the Biscayne Landings money, you will
135,000
get it.
there.
yeah.
So the motion that I have on the floor, Vice Mayor Keys makes the following motion, to reduce the attorney's salary to 175,000, that's currently in the budget, to reduce the manager's salary to $190,000, and to reduce, the federal lobbyist to reduce it back down to $30,000. That's the motion made by Council Vice Mayor Keys. Do I have a second?
Second for discussion.
Second year already.
Oh, you did?
You,
Okay.
Discussion.
we already passed it.
No,
What
we
are we
didn't.
going to
We didn't
discuss?
pass it. We didn't vote.
I
Wait,
didn't get that, sir.
If-
Desmond made the second.
yes, if we voted, I'm voting no. I didn't think we voted. I thought it was open for
Yeah,
discussion.
you can. Yeah,
It's
discussion.
open for
Oh,
discussion.
okay.
Yeah. The
Okay,
motion's
so-
on the table.
Discussion.
Keys made the motion,
Yes,
Vienna may
Vienna
second the motion.
seconded. Okay, perfect. Council, Vice Mayor Keys, I absolutely agree with the lobbyists, but I do think that we are in a transition phase for North Miami. We have to look at the best out of the best. We don't know who we're getting. I think we just have to be a little bit careful in capting, especially the top 2 best person in our city. I'm not talking about everybody's salary, because I don't have any problem with that. I do think that you need to get what you pay for. I mean, I decided to be a teacher, and I'm making whatever I'm making, which is nothing, but that's the part that I decided to do that. But if we are moving forward, and this is a city, we trying to attract the best, my suggestion is, let's say what we need and give the professional some opinion, and let them come back with us. You want $1 million, I want $300,000, 100 for my senior program, 150 for the playground, and
Me and
50,
you.
yes, for you, for Councilman, and 50,000 for the books. That's 300,000. I do not mind anything else. I'm okay with this budget because we spent 5 hours between Terry and Duke going over it. If you do that, I'm okay. So that's just my motion.
Can we get some averages, because 226 is really high,
Yes,
higher
I
higher
agree.
than anywhere.
No, I
And
agree
if we-
with
And
you.
if we put it there, it's gonna get spent.
I-
We, in the past, gave some very high salaries. I would say gratuitously, we gave some very high salaries, and we've been stuck with it. We have 2 new positions that will be opening, so now is the time. We don't have anybody out there, that we're gonna be disparaging, saying, you're not worth this, you're not worth it. We don't know who's gonna be out there. Now's the time to cut the
do
salaries.
that. The
and
other,
with all due respect, Councilman, your RFP out for your city, your presently for
That's what
your
I
city
thought.
attorney, it ranges from 225,000 to 600,000.
okay, so we
In
can't
Ma-
do,
In Miami-Dade County, your
Mhm.
managers make anywhere
That's
from
my resume.
160,000 to 275,000.
okay,
And that's the range within Miami-Dade County.
within Miami-Dade. Okay, our neighboring cities around us,
They're
and
less.
not counting Biscayne Park, just the big one.
They're less. Not Miami Beach is 180?
No, Miami Beach is approximately 180, yeah.
Okay,
180.
and,
Smaller than us.
they're much smaller. I'm saying the top 4. Since we're number 5, right? We're number 6?
Yeah, oh, number 5, number 6.
Number
Number
six.
6. We were at
Six.
number 4 at one point.
Yes.
Okay, Miami Gardens. It's around.
Bigger.
No, I know they're bigger, but I'm just trying to get. We can't go lower.
I will have to find out. I don't want to
Okay.
give you a number
I
that
mean,
I don't.
Councilwoman Keyser, I'm okay with 200, but I mean, these are
Okay, well-
professionals. I mean,
But we
You
need to
know-
understand, Councilman
Yeah.
Desulme, people are saying, no, but 175, you're gonna get
yeah,
someone that's doing good out there, not gonna come for 175,000. You need to understand
gotta
that.
attract the best. We're the
If you want anybody, that's fine. But if you want someone that's doing good at a law firm, you're not gonna find a good one. That's when you need to understand that.
Well, again, it's...
But another thing, if in the process of hiring a city attorney, we find out that we
negotiate.
okay with someone and that person in order to be here need more money, then we will do the adjustment.
You could
always can
adjust.
do that.
So can we
Yeah.
bring it down to 200 each, and
I
then we'll
like
say
that.
50,000?
I like
200
that.
And
each.
hopefully we
I'm
I
can
like
find
that.
somebody
I'm
great for
okay.
less.
Okay.
It can be
I like that.
negotiated.
Yes.
If it's 75,
You
it's
can
better
always
to
find
negotiate a
some
higher
money.
pay than
I
Leave
mean,
it at
if
200.
you
Coun-
put it
Councilman-
out there that
Councilman,
it's this high, they're
I
gonna
mean,
take it.
Can I make a suggestion?
Actually, I'm
All right. Throughout the year, there's always people leaving the city and staff coming in. The staff that is coming in is always coming in at a lower rate.
Okay.
There's always salary savings with police officers, general employees when hired. $15,000 or $20,000 to make up salaries for a city manager or a city attorney can be done.
okay.
Perfect.
Budgetarily, we will make the adjustment.
Awesome.
That means you're okay with recommendation.
And plus,
The
you are,
recommendation that is made, we could do it based on salary savings, and we can do the corrective measures during the course of the year.
Okay.
So Mayor, would you like a roll call vote or a general vote on Councilwoman Key's motion?
the,
Mr. Mayor, I'm unclear. Are we under the original motion of dropping 226 to 175 and 190, or are we under an amended motion?
no, we are with the new motion.
She making
The-
a-
the
she
menu.
making
Okay,
an
would you like to
amendment.
amend your motion, Councilwoman Keys? And if
Fine.
you are, may you please state the
Okay.
terms?
So I will amend it to lower the city attorney to 200,000 and the city manager to 200,000,
Okay.
and the federal lobbyist from 80 back down to 30.
Back down to 40. 30.
From 80 to 30.
From 80.
Okay,
For the federal
Councilwoman,
lobby.
Councilwoman Keys amended that motion. May I have a second to that amended
A
motion?
second.
Motion was seconded by Councilman Biedemeyer. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes. The amendment passes 5-0.
Okay.
Mr. Manager, I'd like to make an additional, I'd like to amend the council aides. I'd like to reduce the number of council aides from its proposed 5 to 2.
How are you going
When
to allocate them? Whom are they going to represent?
I
They-
do need one.
They,
I
they
w- I'm
need,
okay
they
with
need
one.
to, somebody, I'm telling you right now, I get a mess of constituent casework, a mess. I have a list, and
It's
I
a
have
running
a
list of
list-
over
I
100.
have a list of over 100
Correct.
constituents that every Monday I'm throwing at you. If you gave me carte blanche to walk through this city hall, I could close out those 100 in less than a week's time. we really don't need to have somebody for each person. You could have one that does the even districts, one that does the odd districts, and there are already two constituent, what was their title? Coordinators in the mayor council office. They could be the mayor's people. I'm just making this up right now. I still think it's too much, but I'm trying to meet everybody halfway. We're a city of 60 to 70,000 people. We don't need a mayor council staff that's double the number of mayor council. So I'll again suggest my motion would be to reduce the number of council aides from 3 to 2. Excuse me, 5 to 2.
Do I have a second to Councilman Galvin's motion? Item fails for lack of second. Do I have a motion to approve? I'm sorry, Mayor.
Where are we now?
Well, right, we're gonna have to vote on the budget.
Still have
The
to
money
vote.
that we've reduced, is there a recommendation where the money is going to, that we just reduced from the
But
salaries?
based on all the
Based on the-
recommendation, you're gonna do the
Councilman
adjustment
Galvin,
and come back.
the stadium, the senior program, the library books.
It's $102,000.
Yeah, but
Oh,
you're gonna have to do the
you only
adjustment.
have 200?
$102,000 you guys just.
Well,
Made
what about the
adjustment.
cars? We didn't talk about that.
That's, yeah.
That's
okay.
400,000.
Do
Can
you
we?
wanna remove, are we removing the cars?
Not all the
For
the 20. How many?
450.
Mr. Chief.
Mine raised
The
up.
25 cars are already under contract.
Okay, then
so
let's
we
get
have
the
to buy those.
25.
That's all, we're not doing any additional cars.
But we don't have the money because we got to
understand.
fix the bathroom, the seniors, and the library books.
Okay.
Okay.
But how
Are we
many
gonna
new
have to
cars
call
you gonna
up a-
buy?
25.
25 new
We're not-
beside
no.
it.
So we got to do something
no,
for the
no.
people, Mr.
We
You
listen.
guys need to tell us. Somebody step in here and
Listen,
lead.
this is not, there are 25 cars that are under contract.
Yeah, for
Period.
about
We have to pay
300 and
$352,000.
exactly. I understand
Okay,
that.
we're leaving that.
Yes.
And moving forward, we're not buying any new cars. Are we gonna make a motion to eliminate
No,
any
wait,
new
wait,
cars
wait,
going
wait.
forward?
No, we cannot do that. But you take me to a car, right? That was broken in the street, and now you said we're not buying any new cars.
You buying 25 though? I'm
No,
confused.
buying
I'm
no, we're
lost.
not buying any. That's what he's
So
saying.
wait, so what is the 352 for? Because I sat with Terry, I sat with the chief, and because I'm trying to understand, the 352 is for what?
That's for the
Lease to
25,
buy on the cars that
the,
we
lease to
purchased
buy the
before.
Councilman.
25 cars that's already been under contract for us to purchase.
And
They
that's
should
$1
be
million
coming soon.
obligation we have to pay.
Yes, that's
So,
moving forward.
but how many new cars are those? Is that
No,
25? No,
That's
wait.
25, yes.
No, it is new car. It's 25, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we are getting 25 new cars,
No.
correct? Councilman,
Oh,
are we
maybe I
getting
don't
25
understand.
new
Okay.
cars?
25 in the FY14-15
Thank
budget.
you. We
Yes.
are getting 25 new cars. They're
That's
trying
what
to
You
get
are getting
additional.
25 new cars?
In
Yes.
the FY14-15
FY14,
budget
15.
that you approved that a couple months ago, maybe a
Okay.
month ago.
You
Yes.
haven't purchased those cars.
The purchase order's in to purchase the cars.
We're in the
yes.
process of getting those cars
Oh,
right
that,
now.
that's
Those
when
are
you
coming
have
in.
25 cars coming
Yes.
in.
Yes.
Oh,
Staff
you
is
did,
recommending,
but you didn't tell me that.
no, that's 352. Staff is recommending to buy an additional 40 cars this fiscal year for the next fiscal year.
15, 16.
For 15,
On the
16.
top of the 25.
On top of the 25.
Okay.
Yes.
You see, the way you explained it to me last time, you said last year you have to purchase cars, right?
25, yes.
2 years lease,
Yes.
right? And you said it's about $380-something thousand
352 is the exact number, yes.
to pay those cars.
Yes.
That's already in the street.
They're not in the street.
They're not in the street. That's new cars.
They're on order. They're not in the street as yet. They're on order.
But it's like tweeting that's
Okay, the ones for
Guys.
14, 15, they were ordered but not yet delivered.
Have not
Yes.
been delivered.
Not yet delivered.
okay.
And
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they are not yet
That's
delivered.
okay.
Okay, and we want to get an additional
Okay,
40.
We are
40,
still
40.
getting new cars
Yes.
for the police department.
And the additional
Right.
40 would cost how much again?
Guy, you tried to mislead me in the information.
900.
We're not trying to
That
be
wasn't
rude,
what
sir,
you
no.
explained me last time,
900
guy.
A
something.
little over 900 and something, yes.
Okay,
not
that's
explain
okay.
me
These
like
are the
that.
ones that you want to chip away at, to get money for other things.
Okay.
I was saying with the police that we need Council, Vice Mayor Keys
No,
mentioned.
we're gonna sit down
y-
and
and
reallocate the
get them,
money.
well, they have to do that, but I'm
I
just
need
saying.
Send code
400,000
officers.
from that money.
And
for-
then perhaps,
There's
Confused.
only, and let me I'm sorry, Councilman, for interrupting you.
go ahead.
Right now, if you want to make a change, to the cars, you have $431,000 of general fund money. If we buy no cars moving forward, there's $431,000 to spend. That's
Towards
period.
sidewalks.
You
Well,
could put
but
it
now-
You guys
anywhere.
vote to spend it on.
But
That's-
here's where we could make a difference in the police department. 400,
What sidewalk are you
Also
also
take the
doing?
money.
Hmm?
There's money for sidewalk, for capital improvement. Fixing the home, it's more important than
Okay.
we will find
Yeah,
the money for
whichever.
sidewalks.
Go ahead,
That's
Councilman
fair
Galvin.
enough.
Or add it to
I'm trying
capital
to listen.
improvement, then can I make a motion to add that 431,000?
But you guys didn't make the motion to eliminate it yet.
There's a
From the
motion
car.
on, right.
Oh,
There's a
yeah,
motion
yeah.
on the floor.
Alex,
Make the
Please.
motion.
Councilman Desmond has to articulate his motion for the record, and then we'll get a second. Once that money is removed, then you can make a motion to allocate.
To
it.
allocate it.
So whenever you're ready, Councilman Galvin, with the permission of the mayor, please articulate your motion for the record.
I didn't have a motion.
I
I
did.
said Councilman, oh, I'm sorry.
you said
Desmond,
Alex.
Councilman Desmond.
We get
Okay.
confused all the time.
My motion is if we could keep and you worded the correct way, keep the 25 new cars that we're getting this year. We reallocate the 400 and something thousand back to
431.
general funds for whatever. And if we get Biscayne lending money, the car's gonna be a part. We could get 25 new cars. I know, but I'm just saying that.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
you put it, you the clerk, you fix it.
So, if I'm getting this understood, the motion is simply this. Continue with the 25 new cars that you've already allocated to purchase.
Yes.
And disregard the additional new cars that you want to
40.
purchase. With the 40 new cars that you want to purchase. The additional 40 new cars that was being purchased, disregard that and just move forward with only the 25 new cars that you've already allocated to purchase. Is
Yeah.
that your motion?
Yes,
Councilman
sir.
Desmond? Do I have a second to approve that motion?
Second.
That motion was made by Councilman Desmond
May I ask a question?
and seconded by Councilman Bieneme.
The
Now, feel free.
25 cars that we've allocated, was that this year's budget or next year's?
Last year,
This year.
last
Last
year.
year's budget?
I mean, 14, 15.
Yeah, your present fiscal budget, yes.
You wouldn't wanna do half of them, or
Well,
20
that's when you have
cars, or-
25 cars that
No.
coming in.
Councilwoman, the purchase order is already
It's already purchased, so we
purchased,
have to
we're
pay it.
just waiting delivery on the 25
Yes.
cars.
25.
Yes.
So the 352, we are paying the 352
Okay,
in this
all
year's
right.
budget.
Okay, there is a motion.
There's a motion, thank you, Mayor. There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Councilman Desmond's amendment passes 5-0.
Now, with that change now, there's approximately, and with the changes made to the salaries, we have approximately $533,000 remaining.
Yeah.
Of
Now,
which
we need
250 is for
direction.
PAL.
We need direction on how to allocate the 533.
Housing
How
rehab
much?
and sidewalk.
I'm sorry, guys. Now you're all talking all over each other.
Sidewalks,
And housing repair.
yeah, and housing
I
repair.
Yeah.
did not hear, Mr. Mayor, through you to Mr. Sori, how much money is now available?
$533,000 is now available.
So
I have a motion.
Make a motion for at least 250,000 of that going towards sidewalks,
And the-
Second.
improvements.
Okay.
So I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Keys, and the motion is made that $250,000 of the funds
And
go to sidewalks. Now, is the sidewalk citywide? Or?
Citywide, citywide.
Okay, so Councilwoman Keys' motion is to
or
add,
District
it's a,
three.
Yeah, right.
Councilwoman
Right?
Keys'
Yeah, right.
motions is to take $250,000 and allocate those to sidewalk improvements citywide, and that motion was seconded by Councilman Desume.
Can we make,
All-
I just saw, and,
That's
since
okay,
it's
that's
$431,000, can we allocate it both money and then we call it a day? 533, can we allocate it the rest for housing rehab
No,
in the general?
no, because there's an
Who's gonna find the
officer.
money?
What money you gonna find?
What about
Okay,
another?
you guys wanna
what
just
Yeah,
about
you
vote
need a
on
For the
police-
housing repair.
What about
You
another
want to just
police?
continue with the motion? Let's
Yeah,
continue the, we
motion.
can always make a
Motion.
second motion.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion was made, as stated on the record, by Councilwoman Keys. It was seconded by Councilman Desmain. Just to repeat the motion is to take $250,000 and allocate it to sidewalk repairs citywide. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Vice Mayor Keys' motion is approved 5-0.
Okay,
Following that, now the remaining balance now is 283,000.
exactly. And we have 100, in the general fund, we have 100,000 that was allocated for housing rehab.
110,000.
Can I make a motion to add 150,000 to that line? That's when it's gonna be 250 instead of 100,000.
Take the whole thing. Take the whole 250. It's
Oh,
250 left.
no, we need books. No, don't take the whole thing.
No, we already have one for
We bu-
books.
We have, no, we don't.
You already,
No
you,
allocation.
you,
No, we
you
don't.
already
Okay.
you
Okay.
asked
We
for it.
also need police.
You-
200,000
Oh,
for
yeah.
housing rehab.
So you want the total to be 200,000 for housing rehab?
No, 200,000 toward that.
From the 283.
Yes.
What 283?
That remains of the 533.
Of the
Okay,
five-
so
yeah.
Councilman Bien-Aimé have made a motion to allocate, you said 230,000?
200 flat.
$200,000 to the housing rehab? Is that citywide or the district?
Citywide.
Okay, 200,000 to housing rehabilitation,
It was 100, now it's 300.
city, I'm sorry, so we're gonna take $200,000 and we're gonna allocate it to housing rehabilitation citywide, and that is Councilman Bien-Aimé's motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
That motion was seconded by Mayor Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's been
All
nice.
opposed? Item passes 5-0.
What do we have left?
80,000.
$83,000 is
please
left now.
Make a
Books-
motion for
books
the
for the
books.
library.
Councilman Desmond has made a motion to allocate the $80,000 to the
No, not
library
80,
books.
50. Let's start
There's
slow.
83 remaining,
We'll get there.
$83,000 remaining.
50,000 for the book, for library books.
Councilman Desmond has made a motion to allocate $50,000 to purchase library books, and that is $50,000.
Second for discussion.
That motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Keys.
Is our librarian here?
Yeah.
Lucia?
Lucia?
Do we need, you can shake your head, do we need $50,000 for books?
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
motion passed.
That
No, no,
was
no,
a
we need a
shaking of
vote.
her head.
Go ahead, go ahead, go
Okay,
ahead. go
all
ahead,
in
go ahead.
favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Councilman Desmond's motion has been approved 5-0.
Now, Mr. Manager,
Yes.
the third, you remember those small little parks that I've been touring with you, like 140 something street, and I told you that I wanted to see some benches and some trees.
Sure.
Can we get that 33,000 to do those little
Yeah. If allocated, we can. we
upgrade
can
in
do
those
that.
little parks?
Yes. The pocket parks, yes.
Yeah.
We need a motion.
Okay, Mayor Smith Joseph has made a motion, and may he please state your motion, sir?
To allocate the $33,000, right?
No, there's
For-
only 3,000 now remaining.
Those,
Okay, you're right, sorry.
$33,000
33
to
for
plant
parks-
trees.
Parks improvements including trees, benches, and garbage cans.
Garbage cans and so forth,
Yes.
yes.
One for the third
I-
and 16.
No, there is one on 140, the last one we visited,
145th, and I believe it's like 17.
Are we
maybe.
gonna
So-
get,
yeah.
does that include some garbage cans?
yeah,
Cans and
anything,
Yes.
garbage
We
cans,
could
benches.
use-
In park
we could
in
use-
parks
I've had a
improvements.
request, we could really use some garbage cans along Dixie Highway, near the high school, where the kids are walking and giving the garbage, so that's
So the
part of my
motion,
request.
the motion I have on the floor from Mayor Smith Joseph is to allocate 33,000 to parks
The
improvements.
parks improvements.
That's the motion.
In District 1.
Second,
Do I have and just for the record, so we don't have no confusion, this is citywide.
second,
So allocate 33,000 to
Oh.
park improvements citywide.
Oh, I thought
That
you
motion
said-
was
I thought I
seconded
said
by
one street.
Vice Mayor Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 5-0. Now,
Mr. Budget.
now, do I have a motion, Mayor, with your permission, to approve tab B, which is the budget with the amendment?
No, sir, we're not done yet.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were.
Mr. Manager, we still got to talk about the seniors. Can you guys please find the little, what's going to happen between now? Because we only made minor changes. The little playground and the senior programs.
Staff will go back.
Thank you,
how
sir.
How much funding are we looking for? for
I
the
don't know, I
senior
mean,
programming?
you guys know, you seen the playground, at Pepper, I don't know how much it costs, the park director might
Pepper
know.
Park?
But I know we talked about 125 to start the senior program, that's all. Thank you.
And let me ask a question. Do we have a consensus, or do we, for the, adult education, do we still need 100,000 if we can shave 40,000 off of there? That's,
No,
Mr.
why do you wanna
Manager.
do that?
because we've
not
only
using
spent
it.
60,000. We've
Did they
already,
We
use,
keep throwing 100,000 at it, but they're only
They're
spending
only
50
spending
to 60.
60.
Yeah, but the remaining stays here, right?
Yeah,
The
it goes
remaining
to
goes
general.
back into the budget,
it goes
yes.
back?
Okay, it's gonna go back into the budget anyway, so
Okay, but I'm
what
saying-
if they need it, huh?
I think what the
Use
councilwoman
it
is
for a
requesting
senior
is that we
program.
allocate the,
Mr. Mayor,
the
75 maybe?
40,000.
Well,
What do you think?
the principal left, he's not
He's
here to
not there?
defend himself, so,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm saying, are they gonna use it? We all for it. Are they
We-
gonna use it?
My understanding is that a lot of people, were not able to pay the $35 registration fee, and some of the teachers were let go because they couldn't accommodate for some
So
of
why
the
did-
salaries, and that's why we wanted to partially subsidize
Okay.
that program. I think I would leave that
so
alone.
why didn't they
Okay.
use the
And-
There's 100,000
40,000?
allocated every year, and it's only approximately 60 was spent. So,
Let me-
Oh,
let me-
really?
Let me,
That's
just
it, we're not
correct the
using it, so
manager.
let's allocate
The
it to the
prior
seniors.
year, this, at FY 14-15, $50,000 was budgeted. Right now, we're on track to probably spend approximately right at $50,000, maybe a little less, maybe about 45.
Okay.
The previous year, FY 12-13, or 13-14, $100,000 was budgeted. I believe $87,000 was spent.
Okay.
So, the high school does,
Need it.
curtail their recruitment or allowing people to go according to the money that they don't
According to what they have
Okay.
available.
So
if-
if we told them they had 20,000, they
I
could only,
got you.
exactly.
Vice Mayor Keys, can I please make a minor suggestion that perhaps you guys as the professional do, if you like to see something, I think let's just say it, just like I told my two projects, and let them come back, because magically they could come back with something at
Yeah,
the
no,
next
well,
meeting.
I think I would rather for the opportunity to the principal to really come
No,
and,
we did
and,
that, it's done.
oh, okay. They need the money.
It wasn't a motion, it was just a suggestion.
All right.
now you need,
Madam-
now you need.
We need a motion to approve the budget.
Mayor's permission, I think we're done now. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve tab B, the budget, with the amendments
Yes.
to reflect, I'm sorry, the amendments to reflect the budget as voted on tonight? Do I have a motion to
Yes,
approve?
sir. I made the
Motion's made
motion.
by Councilman Desume. It was seconded by Councilman Bieneme. I'm gonna get a roll call vote. This is an ordinance. Vice Mayor Keys, how do you vote?
Yes,
Councilman Bieneme, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Desume, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Joseph, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Nope.
Item passes 4-1.
Okay, we'll take a 15-minute recess and we will convene at 8:30 for the general meeting.